So hey, Alton, thanks for coming by today.
No problem.
Really appreciate your time, and always good to see you bright and early in the mornings.
Yep.
So, just out of curiosity, what brought you to LifeClinic in the first place?
You know, I've been battling really high blood pressure
Right.
for about
Right.
15 years.
Right.
In fact, I was actually hospitalized about 10 years ago because of it. I kind of had like a heart, like they call it like a minor
Right.
stroke.
So when you talk about high blood pressure, how high was
So I think
pressure?
without medication, I am at 190 over 120.
Mm.
So like really high.
So this was one.
Yeah, and so with medication though, the high was 140, 150 still,
Mhm.
and then the low was always around 90 to 100.
Right. Remind me when was all this happening? How
Yeah,
long
so
ago
this was happening 15 years ago.
Right.
Well, 2003 I moved to Shanghai, right? And then after the first year I was there, my doctor was telling me, oh, my low blood pressure was kind of getting a little dangerous, maybe I should watch myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 5 years later, I was kind of in a very stressful moment,
Right.
and then I went to the doctor because I kind of felt some pains, and the next thing you know, I was admitted,
Right.
and then they put me on medication, and then since then, I've just been on medication from then all the way to
Right.
now. But what's been scaring me is that I first had I think one beta blocker, and then it became a beta blocker and an ACE inhibitor, and then it became two beta blockers and one ACE inhibitor.
Mm-hmm.
It was still not working. I mean, my high was okay. It was like around 150, something like that. But my low was always above 90.
Mm.
And that kind of was something that really scared me.
And this, when we first started talking about this here, it was probably about.
It was that. It was like
about a
around
year
150.
ago?
Yeah, it was about a year ago. Well, actually, yeah, year and a half. You know, that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and come in and do a full body checkup, which I would say, you know, at my age, I should be doing that anyways, and I wasn't doing that. So I thought, well, you know, I'll do it. So I did the full body checkup, and then I found out that, you know, across the board, all my vitamins, and particularly the Bs, was really like red line low. A lot of minerals were really low. My gut was leaking. My prostate was inflamed. I had really high plastic content count in my body, and also my estrogen levels were ridiculously high.
Right.
Well, your doctor started kind of putting me on plethora of different vitamins and minerals.
When you say you came and did all, you know, a full body check, it was not a standard, you know, plain vanilla health check.
No.
But rather what we call a functional medicine check, right?
Yes.
So you're checking out heavy metals, you're checking
Yes.
out toxins,
Yes.
your organic toxins,
Yes.
you're checking out levels of hormones in your body.
Yes.
So that sort of testing.
Yeah.
And I guess the goal for the doctor at the time was to understand you know, what was causing high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Rather than in a standard way of doing things, just fixing symptomatically.
Exactly.
Give you high blood pressure medications to bring the blood pressure down without fixing the causes of it.
Exactly. And I would say that the traditional way of doing it didn't work.
Right.
Because each year I would have to increase, or every couple years I would have to
Right.
increase my
That's
dosage.
right.
And I would say my the low blood pressure number was never under 90. Like it was always just 90, and
Right.
that's already
Yes.
borderline, right?
Yes.
And you would think that if I'm taking this medication and I'm doing all this medication, I should be well below those numbers. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened. We did the test, and I found out there was kind of a lot wrong with me. And you know, I'm not an overweight guy.
Sure.
I'm pretty active, but I would say that with the high blood pressure, it did scare me a little bit. So I never really went full out, right? I mean, I wouldn't go crazy.
Right.
But-
And by the way, just you know this. This is not uncommon. I mean, for most folks that are on hypertensive medications, it can escalate over time.
Yeah.
Because if you don't fix what's causing hypertension, it just gets worse and worse over time.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So what happened was, you know, we kind of went through the process, and I'll be the first to admit I didn't believe it, you know. But I was thinking, well, I've already taken the time to come in. I've done all the tests.
Right.
You know, I might as well just shut up and listen to what you guys have to say, and trust that the money I'm paying for the professionals to tell me what to do is something I should listen to. So I started doing that, and then along with that, I started to kind of work out because the doctor was, you know, telling me I need to work out.
Right.
So I was always kind of, I would say for maybe like a year or two before that I was working out, but it was more like a day a week, maybe 2 days a week.
Let's fix this in a holistic
Holistic
manner,
way,
right?
yeah.
let's look at your diet.
Yes.
Let's look at your supplements as
Yes.
part of that.
Yes.
Let's look at your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. So it was sort of a multifactorial approach.
Yeah, so, I started to juice because my diet wasn't very good. I wasn't eating a lot of vegetables. I wasn't exercising as much as I should be. Well, added to that, actually, I was intermittent fasting as well. So I was also beginning to eat a lot less. So I was thinking lunch, I'll just eat whatever I want. But what I found was what I was eating was not very nutritious.
Right.
I was kind of going down the rabbit hole. So little by little by little, like first was the medication, and then I became more serious about working out, and then I became more serious about kind of juicing and eating more vegetables and watching my diet. That process lasted for about a year, and then after a year I came back, and then we kind of did the annual physical again, and I started to figure out that pretty much everything was back to normal. I've been monitoring my blood pressure, and they actually said, well, the blood pressure medication I was taking was a little bit too strong. So my low was like 60, and my high was 100. And actually, I sent that to you at that time, and you were like, maybe I should see the doctor and we should talk about it, right? So what happened was then she put me on another medication. I forgot which the pill was. But then we started to do that, and then my blood pressure was still low, like after taking the medication. The numbers were still about the same. Right. So then she kind of gave me another pill, which was a half dosage of that. And now my blood pressure is I would say 110, 120, and the low is 60 to 70, which was the first time I've ever had this in 15 years. So I've been completely sold on it.
So basically what happened is, from the sounds of it, was firstly you were coming to see the physician, not just one year later.
No. I would say this. Each time I come, they'll give me a month to 2 months worth of dosage of vitamins and supplements, as well as my blood pressure medication. When she started prescribing it to me, so that kind of led to monthly or every other month visits, and then it would be really quick sessions.
So basically, it sounds like over essentially a year-long period. So this wasn't an overnight thing.
No. This was a very
period where the physician was acting sort of as a quarterback for the whole process of getting more healthy, right? Looked at your diet, looked at your what you're taking in terms of your supplements, looked at what you're doing in terms of your exercise, putting it all together, following up on your progress, tweaking the program as time went along, and got you now to a point where maybe you could come off blood pressure medications altogether. Possibly. Well,
possibly. I mean, I still got to work on the diet.
Right.
I'm still not the best eater. But what's been interesting is that I didn't even know what the effects of having an inflamed prostate was, or a leaky gut, or any of that kind of stuff. Like it was interesting because in the beginning I took all these crazy pills, and then it started to change. Like I was taking different things, and some were for my gut, some was for my prostate, some was to get rid of plastics in my body.
And just to be clear, these are all supplements.
Supplements and vitamins.
Not drugs.
No.
Very good.
So after we kind of gone through that, what's been interesting is, I can now eat spicy foods. But before I would eat spicy foods, I'd have to take like a Pepcid AC or something like that. But actually now I can take it.
Fantastic.
And it won't, it still burns, but at least I won't get the heartburn that I used to get. And I'm much less sensitive to food.
So let's stay on that for a bit. Other than being able to eat spicy foods and obviously now having to take less drugs to control your blood pressure, what other benefits have you discovered, and whether direct benefits or side benefits have you discovered?
Well, I would say this. I think, and it's very difficult for me just to look at only the medication or the supplements and vitamins, but the whole lifestyle change, which I think was, again, quarterbacked by the doctor, has really gotten me to a point where, I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. I've never worked out my life before, and then I started working out. So I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. I'm 48, so a lot of times I get really sluggish and tired. I get no fatigue anymore. Like my mind is a lot crisper. I'm just able to function a lot better. And then the side benefit that actually I never thought I would start to enjoy is sports again. So, I play football in a league, and I've always been the oldest guy on the team. But now I'm actually out there, I'm giving them a run for their money, right? Like I can hustle, right?
That's great.
And playing tennis has been, really good. And I just feel overall healthier, right? I just feel healthier. My mood's better. Wonderful. And I'm able to deal with pressures better.
That's great.
And at the same time, I'm sleeping better. What's been really exciting about the whole thing is that, I'm not a person that likes to work out or exercise or live healthy or eat healthy. But because of the changes that's been going on with me and the benefits that I've seen, it's actually encouraged me to have a full lifestyle change. Right? So now I'm kind of I'm beginning to work on the diet. And I'm hoping that, maybe if the diet, by continuing to exercise, that maybe I can get off the medication. But that's kind of where I'm at.
It's working out. I mean, I remember seeing you a few weeks ago. We were out on the beach one weekend with my our little baby. And I looked over and said, "My God, I got a six-pack."
Well, I don't have a six-pack, but I would say that it's definitely there's not fat as much fat anymore. Yeah, I've never really cared about like the body and physical appearance too much, but I think that does factor. That does give you confidence.
How about in terms of mental clarity?
Oh, that's night and day. Before it was like I need to think about something, I'll grab a cigarette, right? Sure. But now it's I actually am just, you're just crisp. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm alert. I'm not groggy, right? And when I go to sleep, there's no like rolling around in bed. I close my eyes, I'm out. So mentally, and it's interesting because during the coronavirus and everything that's happening, where you're really not exercising your mind mentally as much, that I'm still able to sleep and not worry about, what's the economy going to be like and how's our business and all this kind of stuff. I'm still able to kind of rest well. So it's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's good. How about illnesses? When was the last time you got a flu or
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. I don't remember when I got sick last time. The last time I got sick was well before I started the treatment. Yeah. So I'm healthy.
Wonderful. Well, thanks very much for sharing.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a great experience.
And I think we are at a midpoint of the journey, from my perspective.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is that I think we have helped you, wean yourself away from the regular medications and drugs that is normally used to control hypertension. And that's the first step. Yeah. We're getting you now to the point where you're feeling good and healthy and alert, and your mental clarity is better than ever. But I think we can even get to a point where you're in optimal health. And
and I think that's kind of what we're trying to do now. I mean, the goal for me, the start of this journey was the barometer on how well I'm doing has never been about, I would say, really overall health. Has been more about my blood pressure. Sure. Because that's been something that I've been rather worried about my whole life.
And that's important because your blood pressure was just an indicator. It was the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. Because that represents other things that are going on in your body. So now that we've more or less fixed that, I think that the next goal is to get you to a point where you are above the average level of health, which you're already getting to. But I think we could do an even better job of that, and frankly get a point where you're living longer and performing better than. Well,
I got 2 young kids like you, so I want to be around, right?
Absolutely, exactly. I was going to thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, no problem.